interesting topics we want to discuss with you and share with you. The first one will be about, is stop and frisk going to return? Now, I know on one segment we were talking about black men voting for Trump, black men voting for Trump. But now, is your vote cause a reinstitution of what Trump wanted to do was a nationwide stop and frisk policy? So, okay, which one of you guys want to go on this one? Is stop and frisk coming back?
Chris?
I don't know that it necessarily is coming back or has to come back, but they will do it anyway. It can come back or not come back.
Right.
Okay. They won't do it whether they want to or not. So I don't know if it's coming back, but there have been some communities and police departments who have acted as if they have immunity to everything, and that's the kind of environment we live in now.
Wasn't it ruled unconstitutional?
It was ruled unconstitutional, but Trump says that he favors a national policy on stop and frisk. Right. And unfortunately, the people who are most vulnerable are black and brown men.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this. Now that you say that, I think the stop and frisk will come back. It'll come back under the guise of him wanting to get rid of illegal aliens.
Right. So it has to come back.
Yeah. So it'll come back for that, and they'll stop somebody, and they'll stop me saying that, I'm an illegal alien.
You look a little Latino, Chris.
Right. Hey, when I was at the border, man, I can't speak no Spanish. And you looking at me, can't you tell I ain't no damn? God said, go ahead.
Get you an earpiece that translates.
I ain't no damn alien.
I know we were coming back from the border, and the guy stopped. I rolled out the window, and I think I said something to him. He seen the grill. He's like, right. You go. like I was wasting his time. Like, right. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
My thoughts. Given the nature of this cabinet, given this nature of the possible FBI director, just given the nature of the whole administration, brothers, be prepared. Possible stop and frisk.
I mean, they do in order to identify and ask people who are brown to present identification or show documentation. They're gonna have to stop people. You know what I mean? And so it's gonna rear its ugly head. But I like Chris was saying, I think it's gonna first come back and from that standpoint of what I mean. It's gonna be 1930s Nazi Germany. Papers, please.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so they're going to be asking people to present their ID, present their papers. And
when Sharon says, brothers, beware, I've always been on notice, so to speak, that if a policeman either is going to stop me or does stop me, that I'm always, whether it's legal or not legal, I'm always in that mindset of thinking, he could stop me, right. He could do whatever. Right. And this is like, what was that guy's name in the Old West who said he shoot and ask questions later?
Mm-hmm.
They gonna frisk you and break the law and then ask questions later.
Because, I mean, he's created a climate where they feel empowered to do that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Well, I mean, when you have the president saying, when you put them in a patrol car, bang their head against the door, you know what I mean? So they're going to feel very empowered. There's going to be a Justice Department that's not going to prosecute police abuse. So I think that we're entering into an area. It's gonna be dangerous, man. It's gonna be fraught with uncertainty, fraught with danger because of just the climate. You know what I mean? But they're gonna have to for identity in order to know whether to put them in a camp or not.
And I want to say for the women, we do have a hegemonic administration coming around where we got these men who are sexual predators, sexual abusers, and they want to control women's body. So this stop and frisk does not eliminate the possibility of women being stopped and frisked. So just be careful out there.
Yeah, the policeman, he see a black woman or any kind of woman, you know, illegal alien. You know,
Yeah, they're gonna feel empowered to do that.
they'll
kind of
feel
stuff.
empowered to do that.
The president's a predator, and Secretary of Defense is a predator, and the FBI director. I mean,
We don't know
all
where
up and
he's
down,
looking. You know,
all up and down the chain is yeah. So they hell.
department. So everybody, if you're brown or black, I'm gonna say in particular, just be careful out there because this stop and frisk can take on a whole new picture. Or, we always think about stop and frisk associated with men, but I believe that women are just as at risk of being stopped and heavily frisked.
Right.
Okay? Our next topic is, in fact, I saw this one and I just had to smile. Excluding blacks in Trump's cabinet. So evidently, we got some black Republicans who are a little perturbed that not enough blacks. Now, we do have one who got the black job, the Department of HUD.
Right.
Okay, that's the black job.
Ooh,
His last name is Turner.
somebody named Turner.
I have to look it up.
He gave him hood.
They gave him HUD, but he's a former NFL player.
Oh,
It was not Herschel Walker. Okay, but anyway, they're upset that more jobs have not been offered to black folks, and it's kind of like, well, what do you
what do you expect?
what do you
Yeah.
expect?
It's a white nationalist administration with Steve Bannon and Stephen Miller and the Secretary of Defense guy and I mean it's just Elon Musk running the scene. It's a complete white nationalist administration. So you don't expect. I mean I didn't get my call. I would have been Undersecretary for Africa.
And Vivek Ramaswamy and Kash Patel, you need to be careful. We know you Indian, and if you cross that line too far over, you will be reminded. You will be reminded.
Right.
You're not what you think you are.
That's right.
But so it's kind of like this is who you voted for. And he kept and what's his name? Another black Republican did one of his rallies, and they were playing that Dixie song as he was walking on the stage.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's kind of like they have no respect.
Yeah, none.
So
No self-respect. But
so
I want to put my bid in though. But the next administration, Undersecretary of State, African Affairs. Okay.
They ain't never gonna have an African affairs.
Undersecretary of State for Africa.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I that's my position. I'll take it.
Okay.
So I think this next topic, we're going to probably have a deeper conversation. So let me go ahead and start it off. Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, try to pull a fast one, where they created a policy to where they put a time cap on how much they would pay for anesthesia during surgery. And there was going to be a limit in time on what they were going to pay for. Now, if you needed more time, they were not going to pay for that. Because you have situations where the surgery starts out easy, and then for whatever reason, it goes sideways. Well, they caught a backlash on that, so they went ahead and pulled a plan. Now, I got my eye on that because if there's going to be some deregulations of regulations, okay, then what's going to prevent them from not reintroducing that plan into their what's accepted in terms of what the insurance company would pay for. So we see that. Then earlier this week, the CEO of United Health got shot and killed in New York. And then yesterday morning, I saw an article where the CEOs, because of what happened to the CEO of United Healthcare, they're starting to change how they move in public. So you've been with the insurance companies, right? So this, first of all, your thoughts on the goal of Blue Cross Blue Shield even thinking about putting a time cap on anesthesia during surgery?
Well, no, I mean, I got bad news. They pay for what they want to pay for and deny what they want to deny. And there was a case where, now I don't know how true it was, where they denied, what is it, the anti-vomiting medicine. Did you see that? Where they denied anti-vomiting. The kid was a child that had cancer, and the chemotherapy makes him vomit. So the insurance company denied anti-vomiting medicine for the kid. Now, with that being said, I see cases all the time where it's ridiculous. I see cases where medication costs $170,000. I see cases where medication costs $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. Obviously, people cannot afford that medication, but the insurance company will still
Deny it.
deny it. And so there are things that you can do. Your doctor does have carry a lot of weight. You have to, a lot of times it's a matter of your doctor fighting for you, doing a pre-authorization. They may deny, you get like 2 strikes. So they'll deny it, the doctor submits it, they'll deny it. And then your third time you can appeal it. And if they deny the appeal, you still have another time where you can appeal it to an outside agency, so an outside authority. So you do have a couple of bites of the apple to get it approved. Another trick is that the doctors will go ahead and say, for instance, like put the anesthesia. So that's something that's billed really through your medical side of your insurance instead of your prescription side of the insurance. So a lot of times the doctor will go ahead and do it or do whatever they have to do, and then they'll bill for their services without actually having to break it down. You know,
Right.
this is a necessary whatever
Right.
part of the office visit or whatever. So I mean, a lot of times people do an end run around that. If they can't get medication through their prescription drugs, the doctor will give them the medication in the office, and then the doctor will bill it through the medical side of their plan. So there are some tricks out there that you can do, but for the most part, the insurance companies do it. They do it whatever they want to do. When they want to do it, they are greedy and self-serving, and you can see the salaries of these CEOs: $23 million here. WellCare was what, $25 million for WellCare, whatever his annual salary. These people getting like $20-something million a year. You know, some of them getting $15 million.
$4 million.
Yeah,
They're getting
a
the
year.
millions.
They're getting millions of dollars a year. I'm surprised they weren't already rolling with bodyguards. I was so surprised that this guy didn't have 4, 5, or 6 bodyguards. You know what I mean? Any of these guys, some of these big ones, you know, that are making this big bucks. You know what I mean? Or I'm surprised they are rolling in armored cars, and because I mean, hell, you're denying people's, you know, you're denying kids cancer treatment. You're denying kids. You know, I mean, you're denying people diabetic medication, and people take that serious because people lose relatives, people lose family members because you denied their coverage, and people are like, you look, I paid for this. You know what I mean? I pay for this every month, and insurance is not cheap. You know what I mean? I know some people pay, you know, $400, $500, $600 a month out of their check for their insurance because it's a family plan. You know what I mean? And so they're covering their family. I hear stories where, look, I got to cover my husband, my children, and I also have to cover my mom on my plan. So they're paying $500, $600. So it's like, what are you telling? Well, how are you going to tell me that you're not going to cover, and I'm paying $500, $600 something?
And this is the first time I've tapped into it.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I want to ask is, what is the limit on the anesthesia? Do I get 2 minutes and then I'm supposed to wake up? You know what I'm saying?
When they give it to you, Chris, like if they give it to you, you're supposed to count backwards from 10.
Right.
And you usually don't make it to 3. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you wait, and usually they have to wake you up. You know what I mean? They'll come back and they'll give you something to wake you up.
Oh, yeah, but they're not going to do that anymore. They go, whatever the dose was, they cut the dose down. Okay, so he could be in the middle of the surgery.
If you wake up, you know what I mean?
Wears off.
Hey, man, if you wake up in the middle of the day, you're a bad boy.
And there's been cases of folks waking up in the middle of surgeries.
Wow. So
my question
they
is,
gave me for my transplant, right?
Yeah.
So the dude said count backwards from 5.
Right.
I didn't make it to 3. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and then they actually ended up waking me up after the surgery.
Right.
And even after the surgery, I was still out of it. You know what I mean? With whatever they gave me. So it may be something where it happens, but I'm sure it's rare because whatever they give you to put you out, it puts you out. You know what I mean?
But I think they give you the dose based on the type of surgery that you're going to have so that you stay under the anesthesia for so long to make sure. Because like I had a back operation, which was 18 hours long. Okay. I have no idea. Do they give me just one anesthesia or do they have to come back and, they're monitoring
6, 7, 8 hours later,
give you another one. Yeah. So I don't know what it is. And in an 18-hour, I'm sure 18 hours ain't what the insurance company is going to pay for.
They probably hit you with another one.
So, insurance and healthcare in this country is such a joke. And even though we started with Obamacare and different things like that, attempts to try to change the healthcare, when that guy got killed in New York, that was head of United Healthcare. I don't know. Have you seen the comments of the people?
They were like good things.
Right.
They were on my feed. They were posting photos of other healthcare executives saying, just in case anybody wants to know, this is the CEO of such and such. This is the CEO.
They now taking down all the pictures of the CEOs on all the healthcare, but the people were saying, my healthcare is bad. Yeah. I've been denied. Yeah. No matter how much money this company makes, their job is to find out how many people they can deny or how much money they can make for the insurance company.
Right.
Now, what really gets me and under my craw is that we give at least $4 billion a year to Israel. They got free health care. Okay? Their country is probably as big as Seguin out here. And they got free health care.
Right.
All the country, we are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to insurance.
Right.
And I don't know why that is. It's time, from my standpoint.
Was it 4 times as much and don't even get close to half?
Don't get close to half.
Yeah.
I mean, all the other countries, they're making the drugs here, they're selling it overseas for probably a tenth, of what we have to pay here. We're paying 80% more than what they're having to pay. It's crazy.
And so someone needed help trying to get into the health insurance portal, or Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare. I was, I'm gonna say, pleasantly surprised on the monthly premium for some of those plans. And to me, that makes sense. We all need to be on that. But for one plan, the monthly premium was like $42 a month versus $444 a month. And these politicians are talking about taking that away.
Let me say something about that. D.L. Hughley said something that made a lot of sense. I'm talking to a friend of mine in Maryland. I think he pays $19 a month for Obamacare. The thing that D.L. Hughley was saying during the election cycle, he said, the reason why you don't know or you think that there's nothing being done for you from the federal government is because the majority of the black people live in the South. He said, and the majority of the South is run by Republican governors. And just like in this state, they're not taking some of the money from the federal government that can help us in these areas.
Right.
So when we talk about maybe our premium might be higher, you go to the place in Maryland, they say, well, I'm paying only $19 a month.
Right.
And you say, well, what happened over here? So something ain't right.
The only thing they're going to do if they ever do repeal it is it's not going to be a repeal, it's going to be a rename. They're going to rename it Trump Care.
This is what I think will happen is that you probably won't have it at all. And,
they can't, I don't think it's to the point right now where they can't take it away. It's like Social Security, you know what I mean? And a lot of people in rural Appalachia, a lot of people in West Virginia, a lot of people in Tennessee, a lot of people in Georgia and Kentucky and Alabama, a lot of their folks depend on Obamacare. and are on Obamacare. They aren't going to take that away from their voters to lose that access to insulin. You know what I mean? They aren't going to take it away, but they will rename it. And so the reason why a lot of these governors don't promote it and don't take it is because of that one person's name on it. But trust me, once they rename it Trump Care, they're going to shout it from the heavens. You know what I mean? And come get Trump Care. And this is what Trump did for you. It's going to be the exact same plan.
It's like the old adage that, those people down in Kentucky and West Virginia, they said, we don't like that Obamacare, but we really love that affordable care.
We've had a lot to say on this show today. Great conversation, especially on this attempt to put a time limit on how long you can have anesthesia pumped into you during surgery. But as we say on Contemporary Black Voices, we want to tell our stories our way, because if we don't tell our stories our way, nobody else will. And with that being said, we want to wish you guys a great weekend. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next week.